What's up, guys? This is Crazy Kevin here, and I'm here with Chris Boasso. Chris, how we doing?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Can't complain. So, Chris, it's been a little bit since we've seen you in the cage. Talk to us a little bit about where you've been and how training has been.
Well, to start off, I fought, I want to say 2 years ago in September was my last fight. And I had torn my bicep originally the probably 3 weeks prior to that fight. And so it took me about a year out. Well, I would say about like 6 months. I didn't fight for that year after I tore the bicep. And right when I was coming back in to fight, I uh I had another injury. I suffered a knee injury November 4th recently, so I had to push back. I had to get surgery, which extended me to another year of not fighting. So it's going to be 2 years of inactivity, but we're still here. I wouldn't really say I'm coming back because I haven't really left yet. I'm still putting in the work. I'm still training, even though I'm not on the mats. Doing all the mental work and everything I have to do in the meantime. But yeah, man, it's been a journey the past 2 years.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Now, with the long layoff, how do you think your game has improved since the last time we've seen you out there?
Honestly, it has. I would say I've been working a lot on my the mental aspect of the game. I've been working a lot on my boxing because believe it or not, I had a patella injury, so I tore my patella. So it's not like the ACL or the MCL where I wasn't able to pivot and do things like that. So I got lucky in that sense. So where I've been able to focus on my boxing and pretty much I'm just allowed to hit the bag. Very limited to what I can do, but my hands feel sharp right now. I still go to most of my practices at Kill Cliff, and I'm still watching what's going on. So again, a lot of mental reps. I would say I feel like much more experienced now, a lot wiser. But we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see how
right.
that plays out.
Yeah, 100%. Now, you said a little bit about experience. Now, you have about 8 fights now. Do you think the pressure and nerves get any easier going out there since you have about eight bouts under your belt now?
I mean, they do, but I feel like every fight is the same. The nerves never really go away. I thought they would, but no matter how many times you get in there, you're still gonna have that those butterflies. The thoughts of the unknown. But I guess in a sense, yeah, I do feel a lot more calmer. Like I've had about, I want to say I have about 10 amateur fights and I had about 8 pro fights. So I have a lot of fights in my book. So when I go in there, I do feel a lot more calmer than I used to. But yeah, same thing, different fight.
Right, right. Now, how hard is it to even find a fight when you are trying to find one?
So that's the thing. I've been inactive, right, for about 2 years, but it wasn't hard to find fights. Like Combate Global took really good care of me, and I fought 4 times. The year that I was fighting, I fought 4 times in that year, and pretty quickly too. So it wasn't that hard to find guys to fight. Now it's just more of like I just have to wait. So like right before I broke my leg, I was actually we were a year off and we were trying to find a fight. We had an LFA fight, I think two of them, but one fell off. Like one didn't take the fight, and the other one they canceled the show for that weekend. So and it's funny because the night that I was told that the show was canceled, I was talking to my manager about it, and I was like, look, we're about to get into the holidays. Let's just stay ready for when February comes around, and I ended up tearing my knee that night. So it pushed me back a whole year. But yeah, man, we've been looking for fights. I was gonna take anything, MMA, boxing. I was just ready to get in there. So God had other plans for me.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Now, why is it that boxing would entice you as well too, and why wouldn't you just stick with MMA?
Honestly, it was just kind of just to stay busy because I wasn't able to get a fight. We were looking. The 2 fights had dropped, and I just wanted to stay busy. And originally, when I was a kid, I wanted to box. I love boxing. I have a real love for the sport. Granted, my parents threw me into jiu-jitsu, and so I went the other route. But I have a real big love for boxing. So like if opportunity would present itself, I wouldn't mind getting in there.
Definitely, definitely. Now, you said boxing and jiu-jitsu were some of the martial arts you trained. Would you say that boxing and jiu-jitsu would be the best basis to start at if you're training for your striking as well as your ground game?
I would say boxing and wrestling.
Boxing and wrestling? Okay.
Yeah, like I wish I would have no regrets on the way that I came up. I was very grateful to learn who I've learned from, and I have the skill sets that I have. But if I had to choose between jiu-jitsu and wrestling early, I would have for sure wrestled. Nowadays everything is about getting up to your feet. If you're on your back, you're losing. And there's a lot of high level wrestlers coming in now. And I think they have a lot of success in this game.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Now, is there any high level wrestlers that you've trained with that you think have elevated your game?
High level, yeah, man. There's a lot. Our gym is full of high level wrestlers. Just Richie Lewis alone. My buddy Kevin Pease, very good wrestler. He just won last week on CFFC, and then yeah, there's so many, bro. There's so many in that room. But just off the top of my head, these two guys have helped me a lot in my career.
Definitely, yeah. And Kevin Pease is definitely the man. I just talked to him yesterday. Really cool guy, and we're looking forward to his career and hopefully, getting that title next as well too in his next fight. That would be awesome. And
For sure.
with your fights as well too, you like to get a lot of finishes done early in the first round. Talk to us a little bit about how you train that power and also training your finishes on the mat as well too.
I mean, to be honest, I don't really plan it. It's just like I don't even want to say luck. I just been in positions to get guys out of there early. And I don't know if it's maybe that I can smell blood early in the fight. If I smell blood, I take it. I'm one of those guys, like I don't really care to play it safe. I come in there to fight, and it's been good and it's been bad. It's shaken up my record a little bit, but it is what it is, man. It's like I feel like this is the way I express myself, and I'm not one of those guys that likes to go to decisions. Whether it's me or him, I love going out there, and it's always like a fan favorite fight. So I I guess I just in a way I get lucky, man. I don't know.
I love it. I love it. Now, what do you think is more satisfying, a knockout or a submission?
Out for sure.
Knockout. Okay, I love it.
Knockout for sure.
I love it. I love it. That's definitely cool. Now, when you're in the cage, what do you think is like the most grueling part of being in there?
Grueling part.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I would guess getting punched in the face. Probably swallowing your own blood mid round. That sucks. I don't know, man. It's a fight, so it's everything's happening so fast. I would just say probably a foot in the face, some shit. I don't know.
Jeez, yeah. No, I definitely hear you there. Now, when you're in the cage, what fight do you think you were the most tired in?
Tired in.
Mhm.
Um, I'll probably say my pro debut. My pro
Okay.
debut. It's like, yeah, my early pro fights weren't really. I wasn't really as prepared as my amateur fights. Like I had taken a lot of these like short notice. Um, living in the gym. Certain things like that. So it made things. I had some adversity for those fights, but like, yeah, my pro debut. I remember I took it on like probably like 2 3 weeks notice, and I went in there. I fought 3 rounds. And but I had warmed up too much in the back. I had all my coaches from Florida. Everybody was there, so everybody was. I was warming up too much. I feel like my coaches say I had fought before my fight. So I remember getting into the third round. I couldn't really even throw anything, but we stayed in there. Um, but yeah, I would say my pro debut.
Okay. Now, when it comes to training in the back, I've always noticed that as well too. When it comes to like every level, it seems like all of these guys are training really, really hard in the back and getting like a really big sweat before their fights. What is the reasoning for that?
I mean, who knows? Everybody has a different method. Everybody prepares differently. Mine was just I'm still learning as I go. And I guess with that, like in my situation, then I just had too many people. Like I'm from Florida, so I know almost every coach down here I've got to train with, and it was a good thing to have everybody in the back that day, for such a big moment of mine. But at the same time, it's too many chefs in the kitchen that night, which it was fine. I don't regret anything. I'm just learning as I go. Now I don't really waste too much time killing myself in the back. Just get a little warmed up and just get make sure my mind's right when I'm ready to go.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now, when you're out there in the cage, you mentioned your pro debut was when you felt the most tired. I also noticed too, like when people that don't train, they usually have like 1 minute where they can go foot on the gas, and then they also kind of, lose their cardio as well too. How do you train your cardio to get better for fights?
Well, we have Dr. Peacock over at Killcliff, and he helps out with the strength and conditioning. He's been a great asset to my career, and yeah, I've done a lot. I've done a lot of strength and conditioning to change up my game, and it was something that I had added in. about I want to say like 4 years ago. Something that I didn't really put in importance in. I would train MMA, and I would always do my cardio and everything I can through training. Um, so adding that little bit of knowledge and you know putting the athletic part into the game, I feel like it helped out a lot.
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to the injuries you've had in your career and that adversity that you've had so far, how do you think that it's made you stronger as a fighter mentally?
I made me stronger mentally. I would say just the struggle, man. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, And I feel like I've had a lot of bumps on my road to where I want to get to, and I've had to face a lot of losses early, a lot of adversity early in my career, and I feel like in my mind, I find a positive in everything. It's not, I don't ever go through these things and not take anything positive from it. So I think that's my biggest asset, and I think it's actually propelling me in my professional career now more than ever. Like I feel like had these things not happened, I probably wouldn't be prepared for this next half of my career, and I'm just excited to see where it goes.
Right, right. Now, when you were fighting as well too, you also had to deal with COVID. Talk to us about the struggle during COVID and finding fights and just like training in general.
General. COVID was interesting. At the time, I was at ATT at the time, and I was training with Coach Mike Brown, and I remember he introduced me to my big sis, Kayla Harrison. I was helping her out for her fights, and I ended up living with her during COVID, and it was super cool. She was a great help for me, and just a great person. And I remember we trained together for I want to say like half of COVID, and then eventually I had left ATT. Nothing personal. It was just was time for me to go somewhere else, and I ended up going to Kill Cliff. I was getting ready for a fight, and the fight had pulled out. I was in shape already. It was like right before fight week, and I was like, you know what? I'm in good shape right now to go test out these waters. Let me go to Kill Cliff, and I remember Gilbert and Philip Halls. They had reached out to Henry for me to go over, and then I went over to Kill Cliff, and that's where I started around like the second half of COVID. I guess like the second half of the year of COVID, I started at Kill Cliff, and it's been the greatest move I've done so far for my career.
That's awesome. Now, when it comes to switching gyms, is it hard to kind of find a new gym? Like, does it take a little bit to kind of get welcomed and everything, or when you went to Kill Cliff, were you kind of just welcomed right away and it's been like a really great experience?
Uh, so I wouldn't say it's hard to find a gym. Like you just have to find a gym that fits you. Like there's a bunch of great gyms, especially out here in South Florida. This is like the mecca of MMA, of high level MMA. And I think it was, when I went into Kill Cliff, it was with open arms. They are it's a very tough room. It's a room full of the best guys in the world. And, the biggest thing that they want to see is work ethic. They want to see that, you actually bring something to the table, be an asset to the team. And, you got to have some dog in you. It's not that gym's not for everybody, and you see it time and time again. A lot of guys can't stick around there, and it's really because of the pace and the level of training that we have. But I would say it was great. They treated me like family. They brought me in. All the coaches are very hands on, and it's not like there's like a lot of favoritism or anything like that. Like a typical super gym. Everybody there is. We work together. Our coaches work together. We're all on the same schedules, so it's been a great investment to my career.
That's really good to hear. Now, on top of that, you said your coaches are very hands-on. When it talks to like techniques or drills that you've learned at Kill Cliff, is there any techniques or drills that really stood out to you that you think had elevated your game?
Yeah, just keeping it simple, like Henry says, keeping it simple. I think that's helped a lot. As cliche as that sounds, it's that and Coach Greg. Coach Greg is an amazing wrestling coach. Just the things he can come up with, man, and and also too the way he coaches. There's a lot of people. There's great coaches, but there's great coaches. Like he uh he really knows how to he really knows how to develop your mind as much as your skill set, and I think that's it's been a great part of my progress too.
That's really good to hear. Now, with your fighting career, who do you think supports your career the most?
Of course, my career the most. Man, I would have to say let's say my family, like my mom, my stepfather, they're the ones who put me into this in the beginning. And ever since I started it, they never try to drag me away from it. They've always believed in my journey and what I wanted to do. And to this day, I'm 29 right now, and they still support me. They still believe in what I'm doing, and I really don't think I'd be where I'm at without their support. So I would have to say my parents.
That's definitely good to hear that you have good family support. Now, on top of that, with your training and maybe even your fighting career, what is maybe some of the favorite memories, some of your favorite memories that you've had?
With what, my fight career, like a fight,
Yep, yep.
had a bunch of fights. I would think like one of my amateur fights, I blasted some dude with a spinning back fist. That was cool. I didn't get to finish. I finished in the second round, but I think that one was a sick highlight that like the world didn't get to see. It was in the amateurs, but you know, um, I don't know, man. I don't really have a off the top of my head, and I'm just creating more memories as I go. So I know I'm gonna have some more soon. I'm gonna have a different one for you later.
Good. Yeah, no, I
Maybe
like to hear
tomorrow
that.
or something.
Good,
Right.
good. That would be sick. Now, when it comes to weight cutting and your fighting, how hard is that for you?
So it's funny. Me and Kev Pease, we talk about this a lot. I've done very well cutting weight. I feel like I've done so many things with like the trial and errors. Like I was a kid during old school MMA, so I got to see everybody do it completely wrong, and then I've seen it adjust as the game has grown. So I've done every type of weight cut you could think of, from starving yourself to being in the sauna to fucking distilled water. Uh, now I had a nutritionist. Her name is Shelly. She was a great help to my career too. She taught me about macros, and the macros has been a game changer for me. I focus on that. It's a numbers game, and then pretty much on fight week, at 45 it was hard. At 45 I was hurting. Even if I was on point with my cut, it was a rough cut. But I feel like at 55 it's smooth. Get in the hot tub, couple sessions in, and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's easy enough then. Okay. So when it comes to all of your fights you've had so far, who do you think's your biggest win?
My biggest win, uh, my biggest win, probably Miguel Lugo. Probably Miguel Lugo. It was my first combative fight. It was my first combative fight, and it was cool because I had some adversity in that fight too. I got caught, and he almost finished me, and I was able to dig myself out of that hole and then come right back. It's funny, after he rocked me, I ended up finishing him, so it was cool.
That's
But that
awesome.
was my biggest win so far.
Okay, okay, very nice, very nice. And Dream Arena, what dream arena would you like to fight in?
Oh man, well, I got two. Well, actually, no, I got one. I want to fight down here in Miami at the. Well, it used to be the OGs know the AAA, but the Cassia Center. If I can get on a card, maybe UFC down there, that would be amazing. That's my dream.
That'd be awesome. That would definitely be a fun fight for sure. Now, Chris, this is a question I like to ask all the fighters I bring on. So, I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I've been teaching for 6 years now, and I've been training for 20 years now. I have about 150 guys at my gym. My question to you is, what advice would you give to these guys to keep coming into the gym, to keep training, to keep on getting better and better?
Biggest thing would be patience. Patience. Understanding that it's not an easy road. Everything that's worth having doesn't come easy, and pretty much the guys who make it are the tough ones that stick around. And it sounds cliche, but I really believe that. One day you can be living in your car with fucking $5 to your name on a four-fight losing streak, and then you can be fighting for a PFL world title, or you know what I mean, like sky's the limit, man. If you just have faith and believe in your dreams, I think that you can go far. You got to put in the work though.
100%. 100%. I definitely agree with that message. Thank you very much for that. And Chris, speaking about messages, last message for the fans out there that are going to be watching this video.
I just want to say, keep a lookout for me. I'll be back, hopefully in action by like January. So we'll see what happens with that. I just want to shout out a couple of people. I want to shout out Hydrolife Water Services. They're the best water company. It's alkaline water in South Florida. They're a fast growing business right now, and they're doing really good. So shout out to them. Garden of Life, my first sponsor I've ever had as an amateur fighter. They're still with me. Want to shout out to Killcliff, all my coaches, Henry, Coach Greg, Nick, Robbie, Coach Jason, Peacock, Dieter, my teammates, my family, and of course, God for everything that He's blessed me with. You know, through the good and bad, man, I've always been able to find a light at the end of the tunnel, and this is another one, man. I'm excited to get back.
100%. We're looking forward to seeing you back in there. Chris, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day for coming on, and we're looking forward to what's next for you.
My man, thank you for having me.
My man. All right. Thank you so much. See you later.